Can't you ring them direct?
Ringing the police department.
Okay. Pick up. Pick up. Pick up.
Police station, precinct 43, Sergeant Martin speaking.
Police department? Okay. This is Mrs. Stevenson. Mrs. Albert Smythe Stevenson of 53 North Sutton Place. I'm calling up to report a murder. I mean, the murder hasn't been committed yet, but I just overheard plans for it over the telephone, over a wrong number that the operator gave me. I've been trying to trace down the call myself, but everybody is so damn stupid. And I guess in the end, you're the only people who can do anything.
Yes, ma'am.
It was a perfectly definite murder. I heard their plans. 2 men were talking, and they were going to murder some woman at 11:15 tonight, and she lived in a house near a bridge. Are you listening to me?
Yes, ma'am.
And there was a private patrolman on the street. He was going to go around for a beer on 2nd Avenue. And there was some third man, a client who was paying to have this poor woman to have her murdered. They were going to take her rings and bracelets and use a knife.
I see.
Well, it unnerved me. It unnerved me dreadfully, and I'm not well, and I feel
see.
so nervous, and I'm so upset. And
I see. When was all this, ma'am?
Oh, 8 minutes ago. Then you can do something? You do understand.
What is your name, ma'am?
Mrs. Stevenson. Mrs. Albert Stevenson.
And your address?
53 North Sutton Place. 53 North Sutton Place. That's near a bridge. The Queensbury Bridge, you know. And we have a private patrolman on our street and 2nd Avenue.
And what was the number you were calling?
Oh, Murray Hill, 70093. Well, that wasn't the number I overheard. I meant Murray Hill, 70093. It's my husband's office. He's working late tonight, and I was trying to reach him to ask him to come home because I'm an invalid. I'm an invalid, you know, and it's the maid's night off, and I just hate to be alone, even though he says I'm perfectly safe as long as I have this telephone right beside my bed.
Well, we'll look into it, Mrs. Stevenson, and see if we can check it with the telephone company.
But the telephone company said they couldn't check the calls the parties had stopped talking. I've already taken care of that.
Oh, you have?
Yes, and personally, I feel you ought to do something far more immediate and drastic than just check the call. What good then is checking the call do if they're stopping talking? By the time you tracked it down, they already have committed the murder.
Well, we'll take care of it, don't you worry.
Well, I'd say the whole thing calls for a search, a complete and thorough search of the whole city. Now, I'm very near the bridge, and I'm not far from 2nd Avenue. And I know I'd feel a whole lot better if you sent around a radio car to this neighborhood immediately, at once. Now.
And what makes you think the murder's going to be committed in your neighborhood, ma'am?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Only the coincidence is so horrible. 2nd Avenue, the patrolman, the bridge.
2nd Avenue is a very long street, ma'am. And you know that, not to mention that Brooklyn and Staten Island and Queens and the Bronx.
I know that.
How do you know there isn't some little house on Staten Island on some little 2nd Street you've never even